There might have been no red box, there might have been no photo call outside Downing Street, but this was really a budget in all but name. When you look at the scale of what we're talking about, and we'll start with the kind of big picture, over the next 3 years, you're talking about £36 billion coming in from new taxes, from that new levy, but also from tax on dividends. How does that split up, and where is that money going to be spent? Well, we can broadly split it up into these categories. This is what the government said. Actually, the vast majority of it will go on the NHS, so much more on NHS than social care. In fact, social care, you can see it's on the far right-hand side there, that green bit, only about £3 billion, actually below £3 billion, because I've rounded that up a little bit. And you've got the care cap as well, so that's preventing people from paying too much of their income and their assets into social care. So a lot of this really is about health. Quite similar to that 2002 measure from Gordon Brown, raising national insurance to pay for the health system. And actually, when you look at historical comparisons, here we've got the 6 biggest tax increases that we've seen going all the way back to about 1990. And just look, health and social care makes it, I think it is the 6th biggest tax increase that we've seen in that entire period. So pretty enormous, slightly smaller than that 1997 pension tax credit. Remember that raid on pension tax credits in 1997? 2021 corporation tax increase, so that was a bit bigger. But put those two together and you're talking about one of the biggest years for tax increases that we've seen on record. As I mentioned, 2002 Gordon Brown, 2010 VAT increase, 1992 VAT increase. These are all enormous measures, and yet we've had this one outside of a budget, so an extra £11 billion or so just on that extra levy. And when you tot everything up and look as a percentage of GDP, here is what happens to the tax burden, so how much we're paying, the tax incidence level. It goes up a little bit. Look at that line, just going a little bit higher. And as a result of that, 35% of GDP, you're talking about the highest level since 1969-70. You can probably just make out that was a bit of a blip potentially around then. So really, this may well go down as the highest sustained level for the tax burden ever. And also, it wasn't just about taxes, it was also about the triple lock today, another manifesto pledge that was broken. Previously, you'll remember this, the triple lock was all about how much you increase the state pension by. It's one of these 3 things, either earnings, inflation, or 2.5%. Well, earnings is going to come in very high indeed. We'll only find out how much next week, but 8.1% is what's expected. As a result, it's not the triple lock anymore, goodbye to that, and it's hello double lock. It's the highest of those 2 things. So inflation, we don't really yet know yet, or 2.5%. Some big changes coming in, and all of it outside of a traditional budget.